Hello, this is Roland. I'd like to continue reading from the Caboris manuscript, Matthew, chapter 8. Jesus had just finished the Sermon on the Mount. When he descended from the mount, large crowds followed. Lo, a leper came, doing homage unto him, and said, My Lord, if you so desire, you can cleanse me. Jesus put out his hand and touched him, and said, I desire that it be cleansed. And from that very hour his leprosy was cleansed. And Jesus said to him, See that you speak to no man, but go show yourself to the priests, and offer your offerings to Moses commanded for a testimonial, as Moses commanded for a testimonial. As Jesus entered Capernaum, a centurion approached him and wished of him, and said, My Lord, my little boy is in bed in the house. He is paralyzed and suffering grievously. And Jesus said to him, I will come and heal him. The centurion answered him and said, My Lord, I am not worthy for you to enter under my roof, but only will it, and my boy will be whole. Because I also am a man of authority, and there are under my hand soldiers, and I say to the one, Go, and he goes, and to another, Come, and he comes. To my servant, Do this, and he does. When Jesus heard this, he was amazed and said to those about him, Truly I say to you, not even in Israel did I find faith like this. It's very beautiful. So what did this leper have, and what did this centurion have? They had faith. They had faith. They knew who Jesus was. And they knew that he had the authority. They just knew. Now, how did they know? How did they know? What is this thing called faith? Well, in my newsletter, I just wrote a beautiful article about faith. What is faith, and how do you get it? Faith is what you know in your heart. Faith is what you know in your heart. And they just knew who he was. See, you can't. See, let's put it this way. Who do most people have faith in? They have faith in other people who have feet of clay. They have faith in experts, helpers of all kinds. See, they have faith in the priestcraft and ministers and counselors, and they have faith in technology. They have faith in their drugs. See, they have all kinds of faith in all these different people. But it turns out to be misplaced, doesn't it? Where should our faith be? If there's one thing that's clear in the Old Testament and the New Testament, is that God likes faith. David had faith. See, and when you don't have faith, then the bond is broken. See, let me put it to you this way: everything is bounded. Everything is held in place in relationships. The animal has a mysterious bond with the environment upon which it depends. You call it animal magnetism, whatever you want, but there's a mysterious hold that the environment has on the animal. People have a hold on each other, don't they? They have emotional hold, or a hypnotic hold, some kind of a bonding. So everything is held and bonded. The atoms, the electrons, have to stay around the nucleus. And it's a big deal when one of them breaks loose. But then when it breaks loose, then it attaches to another atom, doesn't it? An electric charge is in one place, and then suddenly it moves to another place, but then it's there. Everything is bonded to something. Well, now when you look around you, nobody is free. Everybody is in, who was it? Was it Rousseau that said, man is born free, but everywhere he's in chains? Look at people. What are people bound by? Well, they're bound by obligations, by guilt, by laws and regulations and obligations. See, they're totally bound till there's no freedom left. Everything is binds us till there's no freedom left. Well, Christ came to set us free. So how do you become free? Well, it's through finding a bond with your Creator. But the interesting thing is that everything in nature is compulsive. There's no freedom in nature. Everything has to obey laws and is somehow bound to where it belongs. But God wanted to create love, and He did. He created love. So there's a bond of faith that people can have with their Creator. A bond of faith. And what breaks that bond of faith is doubt. Doubting God. Now, let me ask you a question. How do you feel when somebody doubts you? You say, well, I'll do that for you, and they go, well, I don't know, I don't trust you. How do you feel? A lot of kids, they say, they're really hurt when their parents don't trust them. When your wife doesn't trust you. When your husband doesn't trust you. We're not talking now whether or not you gave them reason not to trust you. But just, there's something about not being trusted that people don't like. So, if you don't trust God, it can't be a very positive thing, can it? But you see, remember what we said? That everything is bonded, everything is bound. So if you don't put your faith, see, humans are creatures of faith. Man and woman cannot live without faith. We have to have faith in something, hope in something, belief in something, and love in something. People can't live without hope, which is a facet of faith. You see what I mean? They have to have something that they can cling to, look forward to, believe in, hope for. Otherwise, it is what? It's despair. What could be worse than despair? Well, now you see the problem with putting your faith in people with feet of clay, putting your faith in all of your helpers and your experts and your technology and your drugs and your school and your organization and your all of these things that you put your faith in. They all have feet of clay. And it's faith misplaced. Faith is for your Creator. He wants you to have faith in Him. So you have faith in all these other, and believe in all these other things. And then when they disappoint you, when they betray you, when they can't deliver the promise, see, what they promised, then what? Eventually you see that none of them can really do what they say, and then what? Despair. So it'd be nice not to have to experience that despair. Okay? It'd be nice to trust in something that is trustworthy. Well, that's the Creator. But like I said, He wanted to create love so that you wouldn't have to have faith in Him. The electron has to be bound to the atom. The animal has to depend upon the environment. Okay? But God wanted it to be where you could love Him or not. Believe Him or not. Have faith in Him or not. So, there's an alternative. All the other alternatives. And most people don't have faith in Him. And so therefore, But why is that? Because they don't, well, one reason is they don't have love for him. See, they want to be God. They don't want to know God. They want to be God. They want to put faith in him, because if they put faith in him and his light and his truth, then they would have to believe what their conscience is telling them, that they're not that great, that they are phony, that they are resentful, that they are selfish. See? That they really don't know what they're talking about, that they fool people and put people on and secretly resent people. They don't want to see that. So they want to deny that that's true. So they deny the truth with the help of alcohol and drugs and their friends who help them deny the truth by telling them that they're just fine the way they are. See? So we like lies. We love lies instead of truth. So with that kind of an attitude, then how can you have faith in truth? Because faith has an element of love with it. Has an element of love. You love your helpers and your drugs and your technology and your organizations and all those people out there in the world that you have faith and believe in. It's because you kind of love them. Yeah, you hate them too when they betray you, but you love them because they lie to you. They offer you false hope, false promises. See, of making it big, being glorious, through education, through knowledge, through a lottery win, through money, through power, through something. But these people that came to Jesus, they had simple faith. They believed him. And then they were healed. The son was healed. The daughter or the leper was healed. Why? Because there was a connection. See, faith is the connection, but it's of love. Remember, it's not a forced thing. You don't have to have faith. You're free to believe in everyone else instead. But that faith then that's the connection. And so when you're connected to the source, then good can come through that connection. But when you break the connection through doubt, see, so there's much more I could say about it, but I just want you to see that their faith. One time Christ said, "Your faith has made you whole." Faith, he really marveled. In this case here, he marveled at that centurion, at his faith. But you see, when you're connected, then the good can come through. See, and God does magical things. Everything he does is magic. The clouds, the butterflies. How does he do that? Ladybugs, deer. How does he do that? Diamond, compressing carbon, it becomes a beautiful. How does he do that? See? It's just unbelievable. How does he do it? It's like magic. That's what it is. Not a miracle, it's magic. There's been songs about magic, haven't there? I can't think of some of them, but they did. That's a nice word, magic. Everything God does is magical. Just the way the sun shines on a pond, and you see the scintillating light, the stars at night, the wind in the trees, the smell of wonderful things and food. Look at the things he made: apples, pears, and plums, and all these wonderful things that just, how does he do that? Magic. See? Well, so when you have that connection of faith, okay, then magic can enter your life. Look what Jesus did. He had that connection. Love for the Father. Obedient. Of course, he knew the Father, so faith was just that was a given. For him, it was a given. For us, we're born faithless. We have to find it. But for him, it was a given. But he maintained it through obedience. See, there's a lot of ways of breaking that bond. Faith is the first, the most important, and it's broken through doubt. But it's also broken through disobedience. Okay? And it's broken through reacting and responding to other things, and then becoming emotional, which forces you to respond. See, when you respond emotionally to something, you get angry at someone, or you want something, some kind of emotional response, then before long you're controlled by that response. See? But instead, if you don't respond to other things, but instead respond to what you know in your heart, then you have that connection, and then magic can enter your life. Magic. Christ did magical things, didn't he? How about changing the water into wine? Is that magic or what? Walking on the water. Can you believe that? Walking on the water. Stilling the storm. Magic. Okay? Not to mention, well, I guess God did the magic when Christ rose from the dead. God made that happen. It's all magic. Okay? So if you want magic in your life, then you're going to have to find faith. And here's a little hint. It begins as a simple thing. Remember this centurion and this leper, they had a simple faith. It's a simple faith. It's almost like what you had when you were a little child before you were upset and emotionalized and became angry and began to doubt.